And it says I'm live. So I'm going to take a wild guess that says I am. So, hi, folks. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Hey, Larry. Hey, Bill. Hey, Chris. Hello, Robin. And as always, Robin's over here. She's not in my ear because all of my earbuds are dead. I didn't know that. I was just using one yesterday, and it didn't tell me it was dying. So I'm going to have to rely on the speakers uh, from the monitor. We'll see what happens there. But tonight, what I'm going to do, this little piece of live oak, it's a little live oak cookie. It was really kind of wonky. I thought it was laying with my stack of Arizona ash that I harvested 2 years ago. Fell down on a house just north of here in Bernie, Texas. And so I went and loaded up as much of it as I could. It was nearly 3 foot in diameter. I loaded as much of that ash as I could in the back of my Silverado and brought it home and prepped it. So this was laying out there with it. This oak was actually felled 3 years ago. So it's been drying for a while. I'm not worried about it moving much. I did have both sides covered with white latex paint. This side right here where the bark came loose, I ran it through my planer a few times, and that's what happened there because this side was about, 4 inches thick over here. On the other side, right over here, it was only about 2 inches. So I planed it down to about 3 inches, and then I took care of the last inch on the prep in the bottom. Took it over to my drill press. This isn't really flat, but it's close. Took it to the drill press, put a 2-inch mortise in it for my shuck. So without further ado, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make this just a little bit more narrow. It's a good 1/4 of an inch. It don't need to be that high. I probably will leave the foot, but I'm going to blend it when it's all said and done. And I need to start working on getting my final shape. Since I've already lost the bark, I'm not going to be able to keep it. So I'm going to start working on my final shape. And before I do anything to the backside or what's going to be the inside, I will finish this up and get it sanded. So let's mask up. And I'm masking up because it's dry and I'm allergic to oak. So I hope y'all are going to be able to hear me. Can y'all hear me all right?
Yep, I can.
Okay, good. Hey, Herbie. Who else did I miss? Anybody?
Missed Doug's here.
Hey, Doug.
Chris Charlton.
I think I said hi to
Oh,
Chris.
you did? Okay. Herb.
I said hi to Herbie.
Jen's
Hey,
here.
Jen. Who? Hey, Denise.
And yeah, Denise. Missed her.
That's about 970 RPM. I think that's fast enough. Shield up or down, as the case may be. This is a 40-40 grind, 3/8 inch bowl gouge. I really like that grind. Because it loves end grain. Loves it. That ain't gonna work. That might.
Andy Carr's here.
Who?
Andy Carr. Steve C.
Hey, Steve. Oh, hey, Andy. What's going on, buddy? Y'all doing okay? Okay, that foot is just about right. Mortise isn't too deep. Now I will make a bit of an adjustment here. Actually, I think at this point, I want to remove as much of that bark as I can. Woo!
Tommy's here. Hi, Tommy.
Hey, Connie. Got my dust collector on. Still got a little bark to go, but it's getting there. It's getting there. This is going to have some cracks in it. Not much I can do about that. I toyed with the idea of maybe filling them, but I don't think I want to. I'm just going to leave it natural.
Stace is here. Hi, Stace.
Hey, Tommy. Hey, Stace. This piece was 13 inches wide when I started on it. Probably going to end up being about 12. Got about 1/8 of an inch left to go. Boy, that live oak is pretty.
Larry asks, what does the grain look like in live oak?
Do what, Robin?
Larry asks, what does the grain look like in live oak?
It really varies, Larry. It's, you can see that looks almost burly. Can you see that? It's not quite as open grain. It's a white oak, so it's not quite as open grain as red oak. And I've seen it, some limbs, especially bigger ones. Live oak turns, the limbs are all gnarly looking. And when that happens, the grain runs together, looks like it's woven, almost like a burl. This one is not going to look like that. It's relatively straight grain.
A little more to go.
Johnny B's here.
Johnny B! What's going on, dude?
Larry said it's a tighter grain, isn't it?
Yes, it is a tighter grain. Oh, mercy. Oh my goodness, this is going to be pretty. Now remember, the tree grew this way. So, because this is end grain, I'm not going to cut this way. I'm going to try to make as many of my cuts as possible going this way because I'll be cutting at an angle. And with the grain running like this, or like this, if I cut this way, then I have supported fibers down here. And I'm not making an unsupported cut. If I try to cut this way, when I get out closer to the edge, these fibers aren't supported and they'll tear out. Golly, I like this 40-40 grind. Really, I do. I'm going to make me a bit of an OG shape here. I've got this between centers, so I'm not too worried about it flying off. I'm using my safety center in my chuck over here.
Denise asked what you're making.
Do what?
Denise asked, what are you making?
Oh, Denise, it's going to be, well, based on the size of it now. I originally was going for a platter, but it's either going to be you could call it a deep platter or a, man, look at that stuff right there. Oh, that's pretty. It's either going to be a deep platter or a shallow bowl. Take your pick. Oops, wrong tool. And again, I'm cooking at about 960 RPMs here, which is pretty quick for a piece this heavy. And this fine dust here is why I'm wearing my mask. even though I've got my dust collector running, and you can see it's doing the job.
Hey, Artsy Maddie's here. Hi, Artsy Maddie. And
Hey, Maddie.
She said, looks great so far.
I want to.
Denise says, oh, cool, Billy. Can't wait to see it done.
That makes two of us, Denise. That makes two of us. If you can see this, Larry, it's got some open grain, but not a whole lot. I mean, it's not nearly as open as red oak. What I'm doing now is detailing the foot. This part of the bowl is going to be called, or the piece is called the foot, because that's what it rests on. I want a nice, smooth curve in here so I can sand it easier. Otherwise, we'll be here all night.
Denise said she shared on Facebook and Twitter.
Who?
Denise.
Thank you, Denise. Yeah.
Hey, the Palco 1947's here.
Got a bit of a ridge right there. Do what?
Gary, the Papa 1947 is here.
Oh, hey, Gary.
And Donna's here too. Angel.
Hey, Donna.
Stace says, man, I fancy a nice greasy burger. I wanted a burger too.
Got a couple of lines right here I wanted to get out. I got them. Nice little OG. So now I'm going to sand in both directions because where these splits are, it's coming around this way and I'm cutting the fibers off, but it's also because there's cracks. Anywhere there's a crack, you can see right here, it's laying them over into that crack. So if I sand backwards, it'll sand those off. I could start with 80, but
Stace says,
80
Billy,
is too much.
Stace says, Billy, have you turned it round? It looks off at the top.
It is off at the top. I haven't done this side yet, Stace. I'm just taking care of the bottom right now, and I'll flip it around and I'll take care of the top and the inside. I'm going to start with 120 because 80 would be just a little much. And I'm also going to start with it backwards or in reverse.
Stace says carbides would get that round, no problem, no catches. Catches?
Would get what round?
I don't know. That.
It's round enough.
Liz is here.
Hey, Liz. Ooh, nice and smooth. Looks good. Now turn it back in the other direction.
So Donna said her nephew is moving in with her brother and his 3 kids. Sorry, the nephew and the 3 kids and the wife are moving in with the brother. And Johnny B asked me about the traffic here because we have the convoy, the truckers convoy. It's happening right now in my town.
I'm sorry, Robin. I couldn't understand you.
It's okay.
Stace, I don't have any tear out. I've got some splits and cracks that I'm going to leave, but I don't have any tear out. That was 150. This is 220.
Our T Maddie's leaving, and she said it's looking good, Billy.
All right, Maddie. Thanks.
Nick says, okay, you can slow down on the sanding now. The Sandmaster is here.
That's funny.
Dave says, here we see a wild wood turner in their natural habitat.
I think she meant Wiley.
Steve says, in the background, it's arch nemesis, the chair. And Doug says, okay, Raspberry Reaper hot sauce is making me sweat. And Nancy's here. Hi, Nancy.
Hey, Nancy. I don't want to, Will. I might. No, I don't have any. It doesn't have any.
Radar the woodturner's here. Hi, Radar.
Hey, Radar.
And Chris Nealon's here. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Mr. Nealon, sir. How are you doing, Chris? Blades work better if you put them in forward.
Steve Nealon's here. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
And Chris says 18 inches of snow today.
Okie dokie. I just assigned the top of my lip.
Stace says the wild wood turner's diet consists of wood shavings and sandpaper. Now he's moving his body to attract a mate. And Chris Nealon says, love that Powermatic.
I do too, Chris. Both of them.
Stace says, Billy, you still got tool marks? I sure I could see some.
No, I do not have. No, there's no tool marks.
She's just bugging you, I think.
What's wrong with you, girl? Tool marks.
Nick said, made you look though.
Okay. I'm going to put me some abrasive paste on here. Most of you know that I'm sponsored by Axe. I'm also sponsored by Carneal Media for all your website needs. Best in the business. And I'm not just saying that.
Denise is going back to the storage, but she'll leave the live going and check back in a bit. And Chris Nealon said, finally returned Dak a bowl today.
What?
I don't know. He made a typo, but I'm not sure what it is. Tim Fry's here. Hi, Tim.
Hello, Tim Fry.
And Larry asks, who made your logo? Tools. Tools? Betsy says, don't forget to hit those thumbs up, please.
Turn this down to about 400 to work it in. I'm using a maroon colored woven abrasive pad. Now crank the speed up.
And Chris said, Billy, nice to see you working for a change. Robin needed the rest.
Yeah.
I've been off for a week.
Need another top towel.
Chris said, one of my dogs disappeared into a snowdrift today. He was surprised. We were talking about hamburgers, and I said what I liked on mine. And then Stace says, technically, you can have all that other than the meat patty, ketchup. Oh, you can have mustard. Mustard doesn't have any calories. Or mayo. No junk food January, yeah. And then Nick says, Stace likes a Whopper now and again. And Liz says, me too, Robin, with all that good stuff. Tim likes a Chicago dog. Is that like a hot dog? Oh, maybe.
What I'm doing is I'm blowing the wax out of the paste, out of the cracks. Because it'll just look gummy and gunky in there. Never look good. All right. One of my favorite finishes on a piece that looks as good as this. I don't want it really high gloss, and I don't want to, look at those nuts. I don't want to use lacquer.
Kenny's here.
Wax.
Sorry, Kenny Booth is here.
Who?
Kenny Booth.
Oh, Kenny. Hey, Kenny. I don't know what that has to do with wood turning, but okay.
Huh?
I really like Howard feeding wax on some pieces, and I just put it on by hand because I like it.
Chris said he's having turkey chili tonight, and they're talking about some other stuff in the chat. What? Mustard doesn't have calories? I think it has 10 calories or something for like a spoonful.
And I'll just let that sit on there a few minutes before I buff it up. And then we'll turn this around and do the inside. Hey, Mike. How's it going?
Mike.
While I'm waiting on that, I'll take my mask off for a minute so I can breathe. Anyway, that's Howard Feed and Wax. I really like it. It protects the wood, gives it a nice luster. You'll see here in a few minutes after I buff this out. There's some curl in this right in here. And there's burly looking knots over here. It's going to be pretty if I can keep it from flying apart when I turn it around. Technically, you're supposed to wait about 20 minutes before you buff the Howard Feed and Wax. And when I'm doing a recorded turning, I do just that. But this is not a recorded turning, so.
Bill says the grain is really showing now.
I'm going to speed things up. Thank you, Bill.
Chris says, platter or bowl, you decide.
That's right. Platter or bowl, you decide. Shallow bowl, deep platter, your choice. When I first started working on this today, I had not envisioned doing this live, but then I thought, oh, what the heck. And that, boys and girls, is smooth as the proverbial baby's bottom.
Bill says, glad you went live, Billy.
Me too. Well, mine wasn't because I didn't want to edit video. It was just because I thought I haven't done much turning lately. I've got a gnome video that I'm in the process of editing. My asthmatic bronchitis has kept me out of the shop for the most part for the last few weeks. Let me get over here so you can see it. And when I've done the inside, I will turn this around and I will treat in here. But I've got to do something else and I'll burn my logo in.
I like it.
But look how pretty that oak is.
GTG Blair's here. Hi, Blair.
Hey, Blair. Now, y'all, if you've watched any of my videos, especially my earlier ones, when you go to chuck a piece up and you throw it in the chuck, it's not always straight. Let me give you an example. I was holding it on there and I chucked it. Let me turn that down. See that wobble? That's not good. So you can't just depend on your fingers being all that good. Before I tighten it, let me see what it looks like. That's still a little off. So I use the tailstock to help me. Oh, that's way bad. It was better the first time. It may just be off because this was off a little bit over here. You know what I mean?
Stace says, Billy, you need to turn that flat. It's not round. Princess looks a bit wonky.
It is. It's a lot wonky. All right.
Bill says, take the live center off and just use the ram to align it.
Yeah. I'm just going to use the tenon. Well, the problem was this was just angled enough when I drilled the tenon that the tenon is a little bit off on the inside.
And Nick says, Billy, move the tail stop. It's pushing the piece from the same hole each time. Then Stace says, Billy, use your finger. Why use the tail stock? I use my finger to pop it on the chucky. Then Kenny says, can you
Yeah,
hand
I
adjust
can.
it?
I have done that. The
Larry's
problem
here.
is the hole in the foot.
Hi, Larry.
So I'm just going to have to get it as close as I can. That's about as close as we're going to get. Because of that mortise that I drilled on the drill press. Yeah, I should have made sure it was a little flatter, but that's part of what makes this interesting.
Nick says the bottom of the mortise isn't flat.
I know the bottom of the mortise isn't flat, Nick. It's not, well, it's flat. It's just at an angle because this was sitting at an angle when I drilled it.
You got this, Billy. You can do it.
Oh, yeah, I know I could do it. I'm fixing to do it. Woo-hoo, doggy. I don't like it being that out of round. I think I know what I can do. We'll see.
Nancy asked how fast do those turners go?
You mean lathes? It depends on the lathe, Nancy. This one will go up to a little over 3,000 RPM. All right.
Nick says, why not pull the piece forward a bit so it's not resting on the bottom of the mortise?
I got an idea. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to give it the old college try. So what I did was flatten this up some, chiseled that knob off. Took this back to the drill press. So let's see. Worse than it was.
Did you say worse than it was?
Do what?
What did you say?
That's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. It's better. Nothing like a little adjustment on the fly. To slow down your live. I'm still going to use my tailstock support until I get enough of this cleaned out, because I don't want this flying off at me.
Mick said, "You're welcome, Billy."
Thanks, Nick.
Hi, JJ. JJ's here, and Larry LC's here as well.
Hey, Jerry. JJ, I mean, Larry. I put the two together. Hey, Jerry.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Face shield back on. It's still a little cattywampus, but it's a whole lot better than it was. Cattywampus, that's a southern thing. For out of kilter.
getting in the way. I thought I heard my phone ringing. I've been just hogging material.
Sorry. Chris B and Connie are here.
Oh, I thought they were here a while ago.
I mean, Bailey Woodworks arrived and Connie arrived.
Well, hello, you two. Welcome. Tightening this back up because I want to make sure it's going to hold after I take the tailstock off. Tools away because I'm going to have to move some stuff.
Tim says, don't get a catch. It's moving on a heavy cut.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, once I move the tailstock, I'm not going to be taking monster cuts like I was doing just now. I'll be a little more ginger. I got to take this out because sure as I don't, even though this is back here, I'll get over here and hit my elbow on it, and that don't feel good.
$30 watching. 19 thumbs up.
Cool. Y'all press that thumbs up if you don't mind. It's appreciated. That was a relatively light cut because I don't want to have to do any more sanding than necessary.
Larry says he can see some of the grain now.
I'm going to fix this rim before I do anything else. Better. Not better enough. see if I'm gonna like it now. Oh yeah. Mejor mucho. I'm gonna keep this a little thick just because it's cattywampus. About 3/8 of an inch, maybe a quarter.
Too far. Thank you.
Too far? Extra far.
Do what?
Nothing. I got a coffee. Nick says my thumbs up button is broken. It keeps counting as a thumbs down. Happy now?
When it tries to catch like that,
What? Doug Miller is here, watching you with
Hello,
the sound
Doug.
down.
when it tries to catch like that, it tries to make me mess my britches.
Nick asks,
Yeah.
is it me or has that crack on the inside got bigger?
You mean that one? I hope it's you.
Ha!
Okay.
What's that?
Got a little bit of a ridge. Right there. Oh yeah. That's better. That's better. pattern over there because I've got this small tool, 3/8 of an inch, hanging 3 inches over the tool rest. And because it's hitting that crack. Switch to my 5/8. It's not a 40/40 grind, unfortunately. And it's also dull. But I fixed. I fixed. Yes, that was a big cut.
Sandra Buckley's here.
Hello, Sandra. Ow! Shavings are hot. description, I was thinking, oh, this has got to be a platter because it's just not thick enough for a bowl. It's too thick for a platter. So it's just a little shallow bowl.
Tim says Spy has to go. It's looking good.
Who?
Tim Fry.
Oh, later, Tim. I probably ought to examine that crack. What do you think, Nick? Oh, there's a bunch of them. Not any bigger. We'll see. We shall see, mon ami. Okay. That's what pulls pieces out of a chuck. You got to be careful, Billy.
Dave says catch. I win the bet. Didn't you say 10 minutes though? That was a while ago.
What bet, Stace? All right. I might be able to go back to my 40-40 now. Bill. You gotta be careful. You don't want to get the inside bigger than the outside.
Bill says it didn't fly off though, Stace.
That is as deep as I want to go right there. Come on.
Stace said, one bad catch on the bottom of that and it's going to be spectacular.
Thanks for your support, Stace.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. All right. I really like them positive thoughts.
Stace says, you're welcome, Billy. Always good to help a good friend out.
Yeah, friends like that, you don't need enemies. we got a little hot spot in there. Maybe not. I think I might have got it. I got it. I had a hot spot right there. But I get it.
Mini Garden Alice is here, I think.
Hello, Alice. What do you mean you think?
Well, I don't know. Is that a bot?
No, it's not a bot.
Oh,
I know.
Hi, Alice.
Nothing left now but the sanding, however.
Chris is leaving. Chris Charlton. Bye, Chris. Have a good
Hi,
night.
Chris. Yes, I've got the lathe going in reverse. Because I wanted to knock these pieces out right here. Now I can stand it in forward and reverse, and finish it up. But before I start sanding, I'm going to take my mask off for a second. Get some fresh air. Woo! That's a pretty good crack right there, let me tell you. But I don't want to fill it. I don't want to fill any of it. I want to leave it naturally cracked. Because I'm goofy. I could tape the bottom real good and fill those with resin, but I don't want to.
They said pigeon? I'm not sure what.
Okay. I'll be right back. It's really gotten dark outside. How long have I been going? An hour and a half?
Connie says it's beautiful.
Thank you, Connie. I am using 80 on the inside because there's a little ridge right there that I missed.
Larry asked, will you fill with epoxy? I used clear epoxy and it's still there. It enhances the piece of the crack.
Yeah, no, Larry. Sometimes I do, but with this one, I don't want to. I just want to leave this one natural. This is the way I picked it up out on the pile, and that's the way I want to leave it. Woo. Y'all just almost got a show. The lathe tried to jerk my britches off. That would have been something. Sometimes I like to leave the pieces as nature gave them to me, Larry. And this is one of those instances. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you dummy, hang on.
Larry said he was just curious if you're going to fill it, but he likes that you're keeping it natural.
Thank you, sir. Mask, Billy, mask. This is oak. You're allergic.
Doug says, Billy, do you have that 80 grit bowl gouge out? Did you hear me?
This is my 80 grit bowl gouge, Doug. Okay, now, I can go to this.
Dave has a question. Why are you sanding so fast? Don't you turn down your lathe, Billy?
What?
Stace wants to know why you haven't turned down your lathe when you're sanding.
Because I'm using an inertia sander, and it's called that because this thing spins while you're sanding, and it works better if you're going quick.
Doug said the same thing. It sands better at a higher speed.
If I was sanding everything by hand the way you and Nick do, and spending 3 hours to do it, I would slow the lathe down. But I'm lazy. I'm not lazy. I'm just in a hurry. I don't want to be. I don't want to spend that much time sanding. That's why I have this inertia sander. And it's also why I have this and use it often, this little pneumatic sander. I love this thing. This is the part of those that Doug hates. See how many of those I can blow out of there. Oh, crap. Throwing things around. Sorry about the compressor noise. I didn't realize it wasn't on and I need it. Here in just a minute, it'll settle down. So, I've got this sanded to 220 like I did the outside. It's nice and smooth, except for where the cracks are. I mean, the cracks, it's smooth on either side, but you can feel the crack. Not much I can do about that. Unless I fill them. And I'm not going to fill them. So, time for the abrasive paste. We're almost done. Almost.
Larry asks if he sees some spalting in that piece.
No, Larry, there is no spalting in this piece. Unfortunately. It would be nice if there was, but the latex paint that I put on both sides kept that from happening. That and the fact that it was up off the ground on some pallets. So I got a feeling that all of that ash laying there with it isn't going to be spalted either, dang it.
I can't see, Connie.
What's moldy, Doug?
Otter's
Oh,
here.
what is spalt? Did she ask what spalting was?
Yeah. And Bill said, oh, he's talking it up. Never mind.
Well, hang on and I'll show you. I just had to be able to show you, I think. Well, compressor, would you hurry up? It's almost there. Right there. Okay. Nancy, you see this? This is a piece of maple. You see the black lines right here? And you can see some up here. And there's some gray up here and more black lines over here. That's called black line spalting. This is caused from fungus that attacks downed trees. It's just part of the natural breakdown process. And in the process of the fungus breaking the wood down, it causes one of two things. It causes a spalting that's called mottling, mottling, and that's where the natural grain color of the wood just kind of fades and mixes, and you'll have different shades of cream and tan. And it's got a mottled look, almost marbly. I've seen it do both in the same piece of tree or same bull blank even. You'll have mottling, and you may have black line spalting as well. Some woods don't spalt black. They spalt gray or kind of a gray blue. And those can be really, really pretty. But that's what spalting is.
Barry says, great explanation.
Thank you. And you can make your own spalted wood easily enough. You can mix up a compound of stuff and soak your wood in it. I don't find that you have to do that. Just leave it laying on the ground for a couple of months, pick it up before it gets too bad, and then paint the ends and store it, and it'll quit decaying. But if you let it go too far, it gets punky. This went too far. See this stuff right here? That's called punky wood. It's called punky because look how soft it is. That's spalting or natural decay gone too far. So if you let it go too far, it gets punky. If you stop it at the right time, you see this, the black stuff right in here? That's black line spalting. You can see it here and here, almost like circles or cells. Some here. Something else you can see in this is the mottling I was telling you about. Look at this black line spalt right here. And notice that on each side of it, the wood is a different color. It's darker on this side and lighter on this side. And then you get down into this where it's mottled, and you can see the black line spalt around there, and you got dark spots on the middle again. So that's what spalting does to a piece of wood. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. I've got a couple of bowls on my website that are spalted maple that are really, really pretty.
Cool.
I hope all that made sense. Who said looks like termites?
Potter.
Who?
Potter. Potter.
Potter?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Bethany. Or Bethwin, I mean. Sorry. How are you? But no, it wasn't termites. That was from fungal decay.
Fungal. She said, well, the lines.
Oh, the lines. When you're wiping this down, if your fingernail falls into one of those cracks at just the right spot, it hurts. Don't ask me how I know this. Alrighty. Alrighty. Alright, I've had enough of you.
Doug Miller said, Billy, it's sure good to see you in the shop again.
What?
Doug Miller said,
Oh,
Billy, it's sure good to see you in the shop again.
thanks, Doug. It's good to be back out here.
And Potter said, I am good. The lines. Have you ever seen the aftermath of termites on an entire wood paneled room? I have. It was amazing. Just lines and lines. And if you touched it, powder.
Yep.
Kenny says, just wondering what kind of helmet slash face shield do you have?
What kind of? Oh, Kenny, I use. Hang on. Let me get my oil rubbed in here and I can clean my hands off and show you. I use a Uvex Bionic. I've had traditional flat. I've still got one somewhere, an old one. I've had traditional flat woodworking or wood turning face shields. I don't like them. I don't think they protect me as well as the Bionic does. And I think part of that is because of the design. This is a Uvex. I said Uvec. It's Uvex. This is a Uvex Bionic. See how there's a frame around the face shield. This is polycarbonate. It's supposed to be shatterproof. And this is a replacement shield. I've had this face shield for 3 years, and in the first week I bought it, I had a 10-pound piece of pecan come off of the lathe and hit me right there. Didn't break the face shield, barely scratched it, and it saved my face. I firmly believe in this face shield. I love how it fits. I love the wrap. You can see through it clearly. It's a great face shield.
Doug Miller says, I use the same shield. Good piece of equipment.
It is a great piece of equipment. I can't tell you how many times I've had pieces break because I turn stuff like this. So I've had pieces break and come apart on the lathe, and I have a T-shirt for sale on my website that says, well, that hit me right in the face shield for a reason. I have said that on camera more times than I can remember.
The platter looks really pretty.
No, Potter, I am not sponsored by Uvex. I'm sponsored by HarneoMedia.com. I'm sponsored by Axe Abrasive Paste. And I'm sponsored by Starbond Premium Superglue. I'm trying to get sponsored by a company that does face shields with an air supply on them. It's not the Trend, it's another one. And we're in the middle of negotiation right now.
Kenny Booth says, and it's just $30?
Yeah, they're not expensive. It's a great face shield for the money. They are not expensive at all. In fact, if you go to one of my other videos and go down to my Amazon affiliate link, I'll get a little money off of that sale, and it doesn't cost you any more. Just throwing that little tidbit out there. I'll put that link in the description later when I get back in the house. But all such support is appreciated. Lets me buy sandpaper and stuff. Okay. So, why do you say so much, Billy? Because that's, in the world of instruction, that's called a pregnant pause. So or okay or whatever is no different than and you get.
What about basically?
That's not a good thing. What?
Basically.
Yeah. Now. Yeah, all that stuff. I have got a little thing in here I want to blow out that I couldn't see where I was.
Radar the wood turner's leaving.
What's what?
Radar the wood turner's leaving.
All right, Radar.
Bye, Radar.
Thanks for coming, man.
And Larry's going as well. Bye, Larry.
Bye, Larry. I was going to ask. Blew that right, dummy. So now we can do one of two things. I can quit here. What time is it?
It's at 8:30, 7:30 for you.
And Shay's going live
in a half hour.
In a half hour. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here. This bowl's not quite finished yet. It's a little thicker than I like to leave them sometimes, but with the cracks in it, I feel better with it being a little thicker because the crack runs all the way through. You can see through it in several places. Get out of here. You can see through it in several places. And you can see that crack, one crack, you can see the light through it now. That one crack almost goes all the way across the bowl. So
Potter says, buy at Starbond. Use Messy at the checkout.
That's one way to do it. There's a special link you can go to in my newer videos that you don't get a 10% discount by using the Messy code. It actually gives you 30% off your order if you follow that new link. At least it was. So this is it. If I had time, if Shay wasn't fixing to come on and I need to go run through the water before she does, I would turn this around and put it either in my coal jaws or in my donut chuck, and I would burn my logo in here and finish this bottom off. I will do that off camera later. And in the next few days, this piece will be up on my website for anybody that wants to buy a cracked bowl.
With good luck cracks inside.
And with that said, let me go over here and change views.
Nancy says it gives character.
It does, Nancy. It does give it character. That's why I don't mind leaving flaws in a lot of pieces. So I really appreciate it, folks. I honestly do. Thanks for coming along and tagging along with me on this little journey back to my little journey back to wood turning. I've had a lot of fun tonight. I got the bowl finished for all intents and purposes, and I'm very happy about that. Thank you, Robin, for trying to talk over the den of my dust collector and all my other equipment, and keeping me abreast of what people were saying. Again, y'all come back and see what the old fat boy's up to. I hope to be doing a lot more turning in the not so distant future. I've got a new gnome video that's going to be coming up in a few days. I finished it up today. That was a commissioned piece. So go check it out. So go check it out when it comes out. And remember, as always, live, laugh, and love. Thanks. Y'all come back. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Pay attention to what I'm doing, keyboard.